Tony Bradshaw with AddSomeToYourIncome.com to give you 5 steps to increasing labor income. Before I get into the 5 steps, let's make sure we have a definition and a working understanding of labor income. Labor, the time between sleeping and playing Minecraft, is what I sometimes joke. Labor, though, it's work. And work, I love, is both a noun and a verb. So when we speak of it as the noun, then we're referring to the trial, the sweat, the stress, the struggle, the effort, all that you're putting into your work. Whew. That's the noun. The verb is where you're actually exercising the skill of work. I am working. I have work to do is the noun. I am working is the verb. Work is when you're getting the task done, right? Work is the activity. There's the verb of it. What I love about work, either the noun or the verb as you look at it, is that the outcome of it is a product. The result of work is something that you have produced, as I like to call it, a yield. More on that when I talk about passive income, of course. Well, speaking of yield, so if you're a farmer and you've been doing the same thing year after year and you're always getting the same yields year after year, and then you're getting frustrated about always having the same, you start complaining and you start seeing yourself as less fortunate, it's time for you to restart before you resort to the opposite of work, which is to destroy things and ruin things and idleness and laziness, and to stop. Stop now is the opposite of work. However, the first step I'm about to share with you is something, because there's a difference between stopping and taking a break, which I'll get to. Now that I feel like I've talked enough about what labor is and how to look at these words to understand what I'm saying, let me move into the 5 steps. So the first step is become the best. Because when you're the best, you're going to be paid better. I often call this master your craft, taking the time to become the expert at what you're doing. I remember a story growing up. Now, growing up, my father was in the auto parts sales business. Right? That's what he did. I'm pretty sure I got this story somewhere in my childhood because it's about a mechanic. So someone takes their car to the mechanic because it's not working correctly. The mechanic checks it out, and with the person watching, he takes out a mallet, he hits the engine, and the car works fine. Well, the customer gets the bill, and it's $400. The customer says to the mechanic, "That's ridiculous. All you did was hit it with a mallet. Why would I pay $400 to do that?" So the mechanic's like, "Okay, yeah, makes sense." And he rewrites the bill. And he says, hitting with mallet, $5. Knowing where to hit, $395. Right? So when you master your craft and you become the best at what you're doing, you become that expert, you know those things, and you're able to hit on the vehicle where it needs a nice little tap to get everything back where it needs to be. And you charge the $400 a tap. Master your craft, and you will increase your labor income. The second step is to negotiate. Most negotiating, blah, blah, blah. Most negotiating happens as you sit down to start a job. It can also happen in your annual review as a place to negotiate. I'm referring mostly to the beginning, where you sit down and you're just starting to get yourself established at the workplace. The way it usually is there's a price listed as the salary of the position. That's usually what they're willing to offer, but it's not the maximum that they're willing to offer. Once you're at the point in the relationship that is starting to get to the, like, we need to decide this, which is not usually that first interview, of course. But you've started to talk about some of those details and you're getting there. Be ready to negotiate. Be ready to say what it is that you really would like to receive as the amount of money that you're getting paid. An amount that's higher than is on that offer and maybe on their first statement to you of what they would pay you. Negotiate it. And often they'll try to be like, well, let's do 3 to 6 months and then see how we're doing from there. Which reminds me of the joke of someone was offered a position saying, we'll offer you $3,000 a month now, and in 3 months we will have you at 3,500. When would you like to start? In 3 months. Anyway, so it is kind of there, though. They might want to have that trial period. Be okay with it. Possibly get it in writing as well. If this is working out, we will have a review in 3 to 6 months and look at the increase in pay at that time. So negotiations are some of that back and forth. Just know that you are often being offered that amount that is going to be the amount that they're comfortable with. They also have a higher amount that they will be comfortable with. And you just work that out so that you have this nice relationship and they know that you have negotiated about your pay. Which moves into your annual review and my third step, which is to ask for a raise. Be careful in the way that you do this. The timing is important. And you may pick up one of my favorite questions when I thought about asking for a raise, which is, what more can I do to make more money? That isn't just asking for a raise. That's saying I'm willing to do more, and of course be willing to do more when something's offered, as long as it works for you and you're able to do it. And again, this is at the right timing. Again, it's a relationship, and the money is just a flow that happens within that relationship, right? So you're working, you ask for the raise. It could be at an annual review that's just a nice review that shows that you've been doing what you're supposed to. And you could say, I'd appreciate a raise, or I'd appreciate a larger raise. Or you could say you've done your homework and you've looked at other companies that pay more. You'd rather stay here and work with you, but I would also go there to get paid that much more. Know that asking for a raise at a time when you're getting a terrible review and you've obviously messed up quite a few things could make them say, you know what? You can go work for that other company. So be careful when you ask for your raise. Make it a wise thing. The fourth way to increase labor income is to take on a second job. I'm saying that because it's true. It's just there. If you got your work and your main work, and then you're looking to increase and you're able to take on that second job, I just don't make that the first option or the first step. And I'd recommend you check out some of my other videos about increasing your other types of income. Passive income and gift income could be ways. And yet I couldn't not put it in here just because so many people have done it that way. And sometimes that side job becomes a side hustle, which becomes a side business, which becomes your livelihood later on. It could be a way that you would step into something that's different that pays more. It is a wonderful way to know that you're going to be able to put the time in at that job and get more money. It's still working a second job. I don't recommend a third job. I don't recommend a fourth job, right? There's only so much time, and you should not be spending more time than necessary at the labor that you're doing to bring home money. Let's get to our fifth one. And knowing how much it is important to me that you keep balance in your life. And knowing how it is that most people learn to master their craft. Knowing how it is that you'll be that person who's able to make more money. The fifth step is to rest. I'm talking about labor income. I'm talking about work. I've mentioned the word sweat, and I'm saying rest. This ability to find rest will make you more money on your labor income. I was at a workshop, and at this national convention, there were some middle school students who came into the workshop, and they were drumming away and they were playing. And one of them got a solo and just blah, 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 and the next one got a solo, blah, 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 and then each one just blah, 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 blah. And the instructor wisely said, remember, silence is your friend. Putting a rest in is very. Now, rest is not stop. Rest is not quit. True champions know how to rest. You'll see them, they'll be laying down on the ground. And they're often running the race through their head. And they're preparing themselves mentally to run the race. And they get up, they run the race, and they're on the podium. Because they know how to rest. This is the 5th step in these 5 steps to increase your labor income. I didn't start with this one. Increase your labor income by resting. I finish with it though, because if you're here at this point, I know you're ready to know this information. When you rest, you make more. I look forward to seeing you on the other side.